All right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is January 3rd of 2024. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Yo, it's your boy Pokemon Trigger, please. We're back at it again. It's been a good week. We went from event to event, and it's been fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week for sure, especially since now, Happy New Year, everybody. It is now 2024. We're 3 days in as I'm recording this today's podcast, of course. But yeah, it's been a crazy New Year's, crazy events of there. What else, really? There's has been other things. Like, how was your holidays there, brother?
It's been good. A lot of family time. Obviously, the time off from work is good, but it was days I would have had off anyways.
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun overall. Just getting stuff you need. A lot of cool sites, and a lot to do in Pokemon Go. So definitely kept busy.
Yeah, no, definitely a lot going on until the end of the year, and then the beginning of the year also just like decided to be like all this stuff going on through. But we're here once again, another year, to talk about Pokemon Go news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as everybody else. Please don't forget to check us out at the PokemonProfessorNetwork.com/Purified podcast. Wonderful people to work with every single time. We are the wonderful people with the podcast, but of course, we have a lot of other people, to hang out with. So make sure you check them out. Again, they have quite a bit of podcasts. They talk about things, Pokemon Go, TCG, Way Spotters. Way Spotters are actually amazing if you ever gonna want to get into Wayfair. But it is how it is. Thank you, guys. Anyways, so again, just recapping here and there about the holidays. We had the winter event part 2 actually ending on December 31st. Actually around 8 p.m. local time, I think it was, because I remember it wasn't until midnight.
Yeah, before that sounds right.
Mm-hmm. Then we had a brand new event, the New Year's event that we talked about last week. It was just a 3-day event, and that was just like what the Everlasting F. We could have wished I gotten a little bit more on that, but because there was actually some pretty cool hunts that Chris and I were looking forward, and only a few we got here and there. So yeah, we went ham definitely. Brand new Spotlight Hour, Cast Form Spotlight Hour, or Ball Spotlight Hour, one of the two, and Boswell Raid Hour, at least for us in the Americans, because of course we only get the most powerful of them all. I think. I don't know. So yeah, we had all those things happening, and then more news. Lovely that we can talk about news because we just love this game too much, y'all. It's like we can't stop doing it. Chris is just moving stuff around. Anyways, all right. So with that being said, let's get into our hauls of the week. Chris,
all right.
What you got for me?
Yeah, it's been a good week. I know we were both looking for the first shinies, first hundos of the year.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, first day was pretty good to us, honestly. I'm trying to think where we left off. I think I talked about. I'm not sure. I think I might have talked about this already, but I'll just mention it again just in case.
It is a new year, so you can go ahead and talk it anyways.
Yeah. The last little bit on the 27th, which I think we might have already talked about this, but I got Shiny Regigigas and Shiny Vanillite. I'm pretty sure I talked about that already. But on the 29th, I got a hundo of Vanillite. And, it's not the best hundo to get, but it definitely was cool to get since we don't see a lot of ice types.
Yeah, I remember getting that like on the first day of release, actually. So
yeah, you get so many hundos from the research.
Of course.
I went to Riverwalk and I think I got I got one shiny I wanted. I got the shiny Darumaka, the Galarian one, which I was hunting that for a long time this event. And then on the 31st, I got a shiny Vulpix, the Alolan. So I was happy about that. Julie and I, my fiance, got lucky, and we both traded shiny Kyogre, and we both got a 15, 14, 14, which I thought was hilarious. Um, and then for the New Year's event started, and my first shiny of the year was Bronzor. Uh, we have history, me and Bronzor. I think this was its way of making it up to me.
I guess it's like I
Yeah,
don't know. We're
that
talking what, like 2019 to 2024 now. It's like
yeah, that's what I feel in my heart. I think it's trying to make it up to me for the salty past.
you always have
Uh,
memories of the best Pokemons that you want to get shinies of, then you don't want to, and then all of a sudden it's just like the most common
and
thing
then
you
it
get.
floods. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next thing I got was a Hundo. I got the Hundo Slowpoke, which is actually my first one, I'm pretty sure. I have a 98, that's my Mega right now, so I'm probably going to start working on this sometime soon.
Hey.
Uh, I got a horrible shiny. I got the male Combi. Uh,
Yeah, I remember that.
I'll I'll take it. It's new. And then today, I was hunting before raid hour, and I got a shiny Temple. Cool to see. Not super rare to me since we already got that during one of the past Go Fest. And then last second shiny. At 7:59, I got a shiny Darumaka
There you
right
go.
before the event ended.
There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah, I knew you were gonna get
I was
that.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that your first one
Uh,
too, from the fire one?
no. I had that before. Uh, Darumaka and I have a little bit of a past too.
Mm.
Because one day I was pulling into work and I threw a golden raspberry and an ultra ball and it ran. I might have been speed capped, but I was like, I was going only like 5 miles an hour.
Well, the game
Uh,
doesn't register you actually that being speed cap until you open it up again or something. So
yeah, I don't know, but like I was so salty, and then I ended up getting another shiny Darumaka that event. So I reclaimed it per se.
reclaim.
So I'm always happy to see another one though. But tell me about what you got, buddy.
All right, let's start it off with the shiny, shall we? So, I mean, yes, the holiday event actually ended pretty nicely for me. After the Regigigas we got from the last raid hour, I got a random shiny Meowth, not even a shadow one, just a regular shiny Meowth. So, I traded for Samurott, which it wasn't that great, but anyways. My last Pokemon on the winter event for shinies was the shiny Amaro. That was the only thing that I was hunting. Well, aside from probably another Pokemon, but still, it was one of the things that I really wanted for the Amara. It was one that eluded me for the longest time, and I'm kind of glad because it was actually a Gold Plus shiny.
Oh my gosh.
I was on my way to my parents for something, and then all of a sudden I saw the shiny on my inventory. I was like, yes! So I can at
is
least
killer.
rest easy. I mean, I would like the Honda too, but definitely something that I'm glad that I'm getting it. Since I'm hatching it from like 10kx like every other time anyway, so it's not much difference anyways. So that's that. Then the next and the very first shiny of 2024, the very first one that I'm able to click on and being shiny was actually a shiny Galette during our hunt because Chris and I met actually like probably like an hour later after I got this shiny. Funny thing is like where we were hunting, there's this mini spawn nest for Golets, so it was spawning quite a bit of them. And I was like, oh, cool, Golets. I was like, I click on it and it's shiny. I'm like, oh, what the heck? That's my first shiny? That's great. Not that I need it to. I can definitely give somebody some, tray fodder since I have like, 5 or something, It's like...
Yep.
that New York guy should help me with that one. So I was actually happy about that anyways. But still, very first shiny on it has the tag of very first day. So I'll take it. I like that's an accomplishment when you actually get a shiny on the very first day anyway. So unless you really can do it, but it makes sense. Then for the New Year's event, I get 1, 2, 3 shiny Darumakas. Actually, isn't it 4? No, 3 shiny Darumakas.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, I kept it like, and all, I think they were all on the same day too. Yeah, so second, and then, yeah, they're all on the same day. All 3 on the same day on the 2nd of January, actually yesterday. So That's crazy. I also hatched a shiny Igglybuff from the 2K egg. Surprisingly enough, I don't want any more shiny babies because I literally have a nursery of them in shiny. And I literally just don't want anymore. And I just keep hatching them like no other. I even hatched a shiny Happiny like too many weeks ago with no Adventure Sync egg. I was like, where did this come from? So. And Chris was going ham with the eggs, so I don't think he actually got any good ones in there.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the last batch. They got like 1 kilometer to go. So, maybe I'll hatch a shiny.
Yeah.
The reason I went onto the 7K spree is just because literally all of them had a shiny chance this time. It's not
True.
often they do that.
Yeah. There's no Pokemon that you don't want shiny or something like that, so it's actually okay. And then I traded for a Rayquaza. It wasn't a Hundo, so we'll take that. We'll take the L. And then shiny Bronson, because it can end an event that actually has Bronson without getting a shiny Bronson anyways. Then for Hondos, I do like my Hondo count so far, because I have gotten a Hondo every single day of 2024 so far, which is cool.
The Hondo year.
A Hondo month maybe. So we'll start. I don't know if I actually talked about it. I think we did talk about it. I think I got the Shelder and the Standler from research. Then I get a Shadow Sneasel, shiny Hisuian Sneasel from a Rocket. Chris is right next to me, and I'm just like, oh, I can purify this for my Honda for the first time. And I wanted a Honda for the day, so very first Honda of 2024 is a Honda Sneasel. I don't know if I'm going to evolve this. I may actually wait for another one just for that reason. But you never know. Then the next Hondo. A Hondo Smeargle? Like, what? Just like snapshot, catch the Smeargle, surprise, it's a Hondo. I'm like, what?
And how many Hondo Smeargles do you have?
2. I wonder when it's shiny, brother. There's a difference.
Yeah, you're gonna get that Shundo Smeargle next.
Oh my god, yeah, I know. So yeah, another just random Hondo and a rare one to boot, anyways, because you can only get those from snapshots, and not a lot of people really get it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have gotten it, but it's just one of the things that you never plan to get. It's like, anyways. And then Raid Hour gets me the Hondo Boss Wall. Heck yeah. Anyways. I saw that the 1977. I was like, yeah, I got the Hondo. I'm actually okay with this because I do want it for Master League anyways. Now, getting the extra large cat is not going to be an easy thing, though.
Nah, you got to raid that thing like crazy. Mm-hmm. Even with the in-person bonus they started doing.
Yeah, and I have like a good chunk of extra large candies. But Boswell is not going to be a priority for me to actually max out if I need to. At least for now. It's not going to be a max out because he's definitely going to come back he definitely has come back already, but he will come back in the near future if there's more coming through. Of course, the shiny has not been released, so that's definitely something that a lot of people will probably see. So, cool. And yeah, that's my haul. I literally don't think that I have anything else that we should talk about, but, from the randomness of just hunting around and getting a 98 non-shiny Metagross in the wild.
Yeah, that was wild. Literally.
I don't know the exact components of a Metagross being Hondo for no reason in the wild, but still, a 98, 15, 15, 14. That's just wild, brother.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to run after you called it out.
Oh, it's a Hondo. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I don't know what I keep a few of them. Anyways, that's the holes. That's the events. I guess we can close out 2023 real quick. I don't think we actually talked about it too much last podcast because we did have a little bit of technical difficulties anyways. But 2023 retrospect real quick. And we're not going to go over like every single thing that happened in 2023. Just like the big moments and just the things that happened. And then give our full rating of the Pokemon Go 2023 lifespan. Now, before, we get into that, because there's the elephant in the room that a lot of people usually want to point out. Yes, 2023 was that year of the nerves because we had so many things taken away from the community that were supposed to be taken away anyways, but I'm not going to go into that. But there was a lot of things, especially when it comes down to, and I don't want to keep saying it more, but of course, remote race and all that stuff, the way that the gameplay has changed for a lot of people and how people's perspective of the game has gone through. Again, that's the elephant in the room. No, we're not getting too much of that. We already really talked too much in the last 23 and in the last 9 months of changes that have been happening. So regardless of how it may be, I want to see or want to hear from you, Chris. What is your take on 2023 Pokemon Go?
Well, I'm looking over just the shiny Pokemon I got out of 2023 to kind of like think about like all the stuff they released. I think it's got to be the year they started releasing Shadow Shiny Legendaries, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. I think the events overall have been really good. They're not forcing anyone to need remote raids, I don't think.
No.
Especially with shadows, I think a lot of them are really easier to take down just because they're a shadow. Yes, you need gems, but now there's party power, so if everyone's in a power in a group, a party, you do even more damage that way. You got megas now, like with the mega damage boost. So I think it's a lot more doable. I say that after I completely failed doing 2 shadow Zapdoses. If I was in a party with my girl, then maybe, but I forgot to do that. I'll be real. But yeah, I honestly I think it's been a great year for Pokemon Go.
I think so too. I believe that despite all the changes that has been happening, there's also been changes for the good and great out of the game. There's definitely a lot more features, a lot of things that we can actually welcome to. There's the route system, which I understand that it was wonky at first and it took a while for it to really pan out to how it works. But it is working. It's not perfect, but it is working. Mateo's introduction to it actually adds the immersive of the routes. Party play is definitely a bonus to your regular gameplay if you are playing with other people, which is nice. There's also... I know I'm missing one feature that I'm like completely forgetting right now. Routes, Mateo.
Adventure Instance or nah?
Daily Adventure Instances is definitely one thing. That's
I think they made that 2022, but
right.
I can't remember.
Yeah, they made it like at the end of 2020 Go Fest when we were in Seattle. But that's adding to the immersion, it's like the features that they want to do. They added shadow raids, which we're actually happy about in some way, shape, or form. Even though they're local, they're still powerful enough for us to take down if you actually are hunting for specific shinies. Legendaries is definitely something that you just have to, group up and be able to do with other people regardless of how it may be. And, when they introduced Shadow Raids, Shadow Mewtwo, everybody was like, oh my God, we got to do this, It's like everybody got a piece of the puzzle and definitely they were actually loving it, And it's something that is going to stick around. Because it's not overtaking events, it's not overtaking stuff that we don't want to do. It's just they are sometimes on the weekends. If you want to do them, that's fine. You don't have to. If you already did them, you don't really have to do it at any point. So there's a lot of factors when it comes down to shadow rates, at least when it comes down to it. Definitely a lot of new Pokemons, the Paldea introduction, some new shinies here and there. The whole Indoors, the whole Indoor Life event was actually pretty amazing for the experience in some ways, of course. We definitely would love to go to another one if we can. I don't think that it's possible right now for either of us to go to the LA one this year. But we're definitely going to be planning for GoFest. GoFest event in New York was amazing. Definitely something that I would want to experience it. Note that there is some leaks out there saying that it's going to happen again this year, but we'll see how it goes. And then after that, of course, just in regularly the seasons, I believe that there's enough narrative in each season. I do wish there was a little more story to it. I am more of a story-driven kind of person, where I understand if I do this, I know that's going to happen. and it's actually tying into the new mechanics and the new things that we're gonna do anyways. Zygarde cells, definitely one thing that we're gonna be hunting for a while, but it's definitely something that's out there for the grind. So I believe that there is a lot more to do, and implemented that into daily lives. I do a 2 kilometer walk every day. I do my route. I do my daily. I do my Mateo. I do everything that I can to make sure that I can maximize my walk. And I do 2 mile walk nonstop. Really, if I think about it, like I don't stop. I just keep going. It's basically around the neighborhood, and I do 2 miles that way. Anyways, so yes, 2023 has its up and downs, just like any other year. We got rid of it. We're in the new year. Let's move forward for a brand new life, brand new event, brand new year. Let's see what Pokemon Go really has stored for us. We hope it's going to keep on going until the very end, and we're going to be here until the very end, even if it ends this year or not. But we don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So, but yeah, that's really my take on 2023. Thank you so much. All right. With that being said, I believe it's time to move on to today's research topics because we have a bunch of news to talk about. Chris, I'll go ahead and let you talk about this one first.
Okay. Okay. The first little news that Niantic put out, at least that we're talking about, was put out on December 29th, and they say prepare for January's travels with Pokemon Go Expedition Access. This is in the shop right now, and they say starting the first, which was a few days ago, we can purchase a ticket for the Expedition Access in January. This is good because I really haven't looked through this yet either, so I'll be learning with you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, this includes opportunities and bountiful bonuses that supply trainers with incubators, increased gift storage, and extra XP. There will be an Expedition Access ticket available each month throughout Pokemon Go Timeless Travels, so you can keep the bonuses going all season long. I did see Zionic made a post. I think he said prediction there will be subscriptions coming to Pokemon Go, and he's like called it.
In the end of the day, I believe this is their way of actually making subscriptions with the added bonuses. Now, of course,
Yeah.
it's not a full-on battle pass.
No.
It's basically something that you can add to your gameplay and add to your experience each month. You can. So far, it's been as short as you can basically finish it in less than a week, or in a couple of days if you actually grind it out yourself. I'm actually on the last step, I believe. I just got involved in Pokemon, which I'm just like, or the second to last step, one of the two. Anyways, just to get them out of the way and things like that. But regardless of how it may be, it's a cool ticket for the month. Again, before we fully go dive into it, it's something that you can, if you want to just buy it and access it, but you don't really need it.
Yeah, just something extra.
Yeah, it's not, and I want to emphasize to anybody listening, and also thank you, Levitt, for joining us today. Don't feel like you're missing out if you don't buy the ticket. There is really no reason to have to buy it. I believe there is, bless you by the way, there is just regular gameplay. There's definitely other events where you have to buy like $1 tickets or things like that for like time research and all that stuff. But again, this is something just to add on to your own gameplay. So, and if you don't, of course, the last thing I'm gonna say is that if you do buy the ticket, make sure you try to finish it before the end of the month. I know you have 30 days for it, but it's still something that you want to make sure that you do because it is a time research at the end of the day. Anyways, go on, Chris.
Yeah. And they say each month's expedition access allows new timed research that unlocks at the start of the month. You have until the end of the month to complete the research tasks, which provide opportunities to earn more XP, Stardust, and encounters with Pokemon found in the Hisui region, such as Gible, Togetic, and Hisuian Growlithe. Obviously, that's going to rotate, but it seems like they want to put in Pokemon people are actually like wanting to get, and honestly, all three of those are pretty hype.
Mm-hmm.
Then trainers are free to complete the January time to research test and claim their rewards at any point until the end of the month at January 31st, 2024 at 8 p.m. local time. Keep that in mind. It doesn't end at 12. It ends at 8. And then yeah, sooner than later is always the way to go with these kind of things.
Yep.
But trainers may purchase Expedition Access January until January 29th at 2024. I don't think you should be waiting that long anyways.
Oh no.
Look at 8 p.m. Look, yeah, no, just giving yourself a day or two. That's horrible. But purchasing it earlier will give you more opportunities to take advantage of the additional bonuses included in the ticket. And they say, keep checking. You never know what wares and wonders you may find. Yeah, okay.
Sure.
All these great deals. Uh, Expedition Access January. From Monday, January 1st at 10 a.m., which doesn't really matter about the start anymore, until Wednesday, January 31st at 8 p.m. local time. For $5 or the equivalent in your local currency, you'll be able to access bonuses all the way through, obviously. Let's see what is new here. You can gift it. I know I gifted a few of my friends the other one.
The January one or the December one? Sorry.
I don't think it was the same thing. I might be tripping. I think it's the one we already talked about.
Yeah, the December one. There was definitely some changes in between the two of them, but I can't read 100% for sure right now.
Okay. Yeah, you can gift it if you want to, but for $5, I don't know. Expedition Access January bonuses. The following bonuses will be available every day from when the ticket is purchased until the ending of the event. One single-use incubator awarded for your first your first Pokestop or gym spin of the day.
Stop.
3 times.
Pause. I thought that was only going to be a December bonus. I'm glad that it's something that you actually can carry over for January too.
Yeah, that is a really good bonus.
That alone is worth it.
Single is bad.
That alone is worth it for just buying the event. Because each incubator, one single use incubator, even though it's only one single use, it's like what, 50 coins for a single use? It's 150 in total for 3.
And you get one every day.
That's 30 days. 31 days, actually.
Well, less now. But...
Well, obviously, but still, that alone is still a pretty good price. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, you're talking me into it. 3 times XP awarded for your first catch of the day. 3 times XP awarded for your first Pokestop or gym spin of the day. Open up to 50 gifts per day. That's really good, especially for events like the January one that we just had for New Year's, because you'd get more chances at hatching the 7-kilometer eggs. It worked out pretty well for me. I was full pretty much the whole time, anyways. You can receive up to 150 gifts per day from spinning Pokestops and gym photo discs. I don't know who has 150 people to send gifts that actually open them all the time.
I mean, there's a lot of people on in the internet that they just try to get like active gifters or something,
New people all the time. Yeah. And then hold up to 40 gifts in your item bag. That's pretty nice. And then Expedition, a little bit more. It says join Togetic as you adventure for additional XP in Stardust. Okay. Complete the timed research test to receive the following: XP, Stardust, and an encounter with Togetic. What about the other ones?
I think you actually can encounter. Yeah, you do encounter them throughout the ticketed experience.
Okay. Something fun. I'm still a bit weary on paying $5 for it personally. I know you were talking about the incubators. I'd say if you use incubators a decent amount and you don't feel like all your eggs have to be in an incubator all the time, this is not bad. I think it's a way of limiting how many incubators you buy. If you're trying to kind of rope yourself off from just buying all the boxes that have incubators in them all the
That's
time.
true.
I
But
think that's a good aspect of it.
so instead of just looking at it from our gameplay, let's look at it. Let's look at it in like a more free, casual gameplay experience. Now, obviously, if you are going to, buy this ticket, you definitely want to finish it, because until now you're actually wasting your buck for the money. In the end of the day, a time research is a time research regardless. Which is something that we probably wish there was more of a special research. But again, it's something that you do have the incentive to play throughout the event, or throughout the month, actually. So first and foremost, the person who's gonna just go ahead and say, "Oh, $5, I can go ahead and use that much for this." What's it gonna get me? That simple guy, or the Singaporean grandma, like Niantic likes to call us. The single queues incubator every day. I know that they may not actually try to open the game every day, but still, if we do the math, again, each incubator will be like 50 coins at least. That's well over the price that you would get just for buying like a $20 box or something similar of it. 31 incubators is not too set off when it comes down to it. Extra experience for first catch, extra experience for rewarding for the spin first day. And we understand, we're two level 50 players actually trying to understand how this will work for a more casual player at the end of the day. If they want to actually, grind out experience a little more, this is actually something amazing. They just have to know that that's how ticket will work. Open 20 gifts, receive 120 gifts, and call up to 40 gifts. That's something that technically I wish it was actually more of a permanent feature instead of something that you have to buy every single time. I'm definitely always running out of gifts, or basically sometimes running out of like people to send every other time. I have almost a full batch of friends. However, like at least 80% of them are not playing anymore. So, but whenever I do send the gifts to the people who actually are playing or trying to level up with, that's still a pretty good chance when it comes down to it, Again, the more casual player won't see it that way, but at least they'll know that they'll have the ability to carry that many gifts or send that many gifts if that were the case. I myself think that this is a worthwhile experience if you want to add on to what you already are doing. Regardless of how it may be, I believe that, for our perspective, at least my perspective, I think it's really well suited for the casual player out there. Any more thoughts?
Not too many. I definitely think it's a way to make January more exciting. Yeah, it's definitely not necessary, but yeah, it's not a bad way to spend $5 in any means, in my opinion.
And I was just saying that I did actually just finish the research, actually. So I got my Digetic. And then I just finished the whole time research. So again, that's something that you can do every day. I mean, only took me 3 days, and that's because I just held on to the evolutions. Yeah. So, and that's because one of the last steps was all 10 Pokemons. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'll just do some random ones that I have anyways. Still, some of the bonuses out there, I do believe is worth the ticket price in the end of the day. It could be a little bit cheaper just because it doesn't feel like it's a long research in the end of the day or anything like that. But I still think it's worth the price point when it comes down to it. Again, you can roast me in the comments. You can roast me on Twitch. You can roast me anywhere you want to. Because I know that people are saying, you shouldn't give Niantic your money. That's how I play, bro. Let it be. Anyways, that is the Expedition ticket event for January. Our way of saying a mini battle pass for your gameplay experience. Anyhow, let's move on to the next one. And this is the brand new event happening very, very soon, actually. It's happening, I believe, this weekend. But here we go. Prepare the debut of Dust Form Lycanroc during the Lustrous Odyssey. Trainers, look towards the setting sun as Dust Form Lycanroc makes his howling Pokemon Go debut during the Lustrous Odyssey event. Starting this event, some Rockruff that trainers hatch or encounter will be able to evolve into Dust Form Lycanroc instead of Midday or Midnight Form Lycanroc. Let's go through the news first, and then I'll explain what the heck is going on here. Because Niantic, once again, is actually doing interesting stuff while... Anyways, I'll get to that in a moment. So, when is this happening? Saturday, January 6th at 10 a.m. local time to Wednesday, January 10th at 8 p.m. local time. somewhat of a short event, a 4 days event when it comes down to it. So luckily it's nice. The debut of Dust Form Lycanroc makes his Pokemon Go debut fully for the first time. You can evolve your shiny. Now we know like Rockruff has been a shiny Pokemon for a while, so this is something that a lot of people are actually excited to. Do note.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know, right? Do note, starting with this event, some Rockruff that trainers hatch or encounter will be able to evolve into Dust Form Lycanroc instead of Midnight N or Midday Form Lycanroc. Starting with this event, and that's probably the key point of this, but we'll see. Time travel is event special research. So part 2 of the time research, or not time research, but the special research timeless travels will be available. I guess we're continuing on the story in the end of the day. So right now we're continuing investigating, but of course we'll have to hear more from Professor Willow pretty soon. Event bonuses: increased frequency of body Pokemon bringing you souvenirs, increased frequency of body Pokemon bringing you presents. Your body will spend more time on the map after being fed berries or puffins. And then Rockruff hatched from eggs received as Adventure Sync rewards during Pokemon Go Timeless Travels may have a chance to evolve into Dust Form Lycanroc. So this is also being added, I guess, to the Adventure Sync rewards. I think moving forward, it wouldn't matter if we're in the event or not when it comes down to this. But the wording is a little bit weird when it comes down to it. Wild encounters: Ghastly, Eevee, Spinarak, Sunken, Terriorsa, Lunatone, Solrock. So I guess they're actually in the same region for some reason. Yangus, Formantis, and Moral all be appearing in the wild. Some trainers may even encounter the following: Espeon and Umbreon. Now, why is this a big deal? Because Niantic has actually put their shiny forms in the wild. Chris?
And yeah, we're not just saying that because of what they did in the past. They did put the shiny symbol over them, which is hype.
It is
good for the extra large grind too.
I know,
but yeah, finding a wild shiny Espeon or Umbreon would be super hype.
I kind of want actually the Umbreon more, but Espeon's shiny in the overworld would be actually pretty cool anyways. So, at least when it comes down to encounters. The following raids will be 1-star raids: Hisuian Growlithe, Rhydon, Hisuian Sneasel, and Rockruff. Which is actually kind of cool.
Those are all hype. I love Rhyhorn.
I know, right? Anyway. 3-star raids: Lapras, Aerodactyl, Hisuian Brewery, and Wordier comes back very quickly after his debut in Raid Day.
Good raids.
Yeah. Definitely
like
some.
Half of those are ones I'm gonna be doing.
I mean, I don't know if I'll be doing any Lapras, but I can tell you for sure that it's something that I haven't got a Honda of yet. So
we'll see. You need the Honda. The Honda.
Right. The following Pokemon will be hatched from 2K and 7K in addition to the Pokemon that currently hatch from those eggs. So Rockruff will be joining the 2-kilometer eggs and the 7-kilometer eggs pool that technically you already have. So right now, if we go into the 2-kilometer eggs, Pokemons like Pichu, Igglybuff, Togepi, and all those Pokemons are still hatching from the eggs. However, Rockruff looks like we'll be joining them. So you still have a chance to, of course. In a matter of this, if you really want to target your chances of getting Rockruff, maybe a 7KX is a little bit better because you could still get 5 and 10KX regardless. But still, 2 kilometers to just get a Rockruff is still pretty nice. If you are lucky enough, of course. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Rockruff Rash from this eggs can have have a chance to evolve into the Dust Form Lycanroc. Yeah, like I said, I'll get that in a second.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
Yeah, Field Rich Stacks encounters will be available with Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Sneasel, and Rockruff. So I guess you'll also be able to encounter Rockruff in every shape, word, form in the game, except for wild encounters. Yeah, except for wild encounters. But raids, eggs, and refill researches. That's where Rockruff really will shine right now. Pokemon Go's Western Bundle will have a $4.99 bundle for 2 Premier Battle Passes, 2 Remote Raid Passes, 2 Super Incubators. And then if you go in-game for $5.99 coins, 2 Premium Battle Passes, 2 Remote Raid Passes, and 2 Super Incubators.
Use the web store, guys.
Yeah, it's like $1 less. It's nice.
Yeah.
But that's the event. That is the Odyssey. Lustrous Odyssey. Interesting enough, this is how they're releasing Lycanroc when it comes down to it. At least this form of Lycanroc. Now, before we get a little bit further into giving us some thoughts about this, is that we are here to clarify what's going on with the Lycan Rock information. So I'm actually going to go to Pokemon Go Hub because they are affiliated with Niantic. So they have some information about things. And here we go. So I know there's been some confusion in the way that the wording of the event happens. So this is how it's going to clear the confusion for everybody here. And thank you again for the people on Go Hub giving us the chance of understanding how this works. So starting with the Lustrous Odyssey event. So newly caught and newly hatched Rockruff will be able to evolve into a dust form Lycanroc. There is no special requirement to evolve it. If you're lucky enough to hatch or catch a Rockruff with this evolution trait, you will be able to evolve it. Unfortunately, it means that no Rockruff you currently have will be able to evolve into the dust form Lycanroc. Only you will need a newly caught or hatched Rockruff with the evolution option, if you're lucky enough to get one. When you tap on the Rockruff, the option to evolve it into dust form will be available. So does this mean that your current Rockruffs won't be able to evolve into dust form for when the Lustrous Odyssey event starts? Well, yes, only the new ones that have a chance of being able to evolve based on the current wording. Additionally, this Rockruff won't be able to evolve into midday form or midnight form Lycanroc. They will only be able to evolve into dust form. And that basically kind of pans out, and they also go ahead and talk how they handle this. Because technically, Dust Form Lycanroc is a special evolution only from the anime, first of all, because the very first time that we actually see the special evolution is through when Ash is battling in the Alolan region, and his Rockruff evolves not into the two other forms, but into the Dust form by, of course, going into a specific evolution pattern and all the stuff.
It's really hard to get in Sword and Shield.
Correct. In the main series games, before we were only able to get a Rockruff, especially from a special event, that had the ability Own Tempo. And only a Rockruff with this ability is able to evolve into a dust form Lycanroc. At the same time, it only happens in between a small window during the dust event of Pokemon Go. So basically when the sun is setting or the sun is rising at that point. But that's the thing when it comes down to the main series games. Moving on from Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield had the same ability, only Own Tempo and only in specific times. And then if you go to Scarlet and Violet, same thing. You can only evolve this type of Pokemon during this period of time, with the Pokemon having only the ability worded here. So this technically is our way in Pokemon Go to really, I guess, manage the way that this evolution goes through. What are your thoughts, Chris?
I'm definitely curious because, like, obviously in the main series game, the way I'm used to it is you need the hidden ability and it needs to evolve at a certain time frame. Honestly, in Pokemon Go, I completely forgot about the hidden ability aspect of it. So to me, it kind of makes sense that, not all of them would be able to evolve into it. But we also haven't seen abilities really play into evolutions in the past. So it's definitely interesting the way they're doing it.
Well,
I think this makes the Dusk form very rare, which I think shiny hunters are going to appreciate long term. Because, when you brag about getting it, it's going to be a lot more hype.
that's for sure. It's definitely something that the players will want to hunt regardless.
Yeah.
There's definitely some incentive and some, understanding that after such a long time of being able to just hatch and catch any of the Rockruff that we already have, the amount of shinies that we probably got. I have 3 shinies actually. So I was actually waiting for this type of event. I'm actually to evolve that.
A lot of people are saying that they're disappointed that or at least they're flexing their shinies on Twitter. Like, man, I can't wait to evolve this, and I'm like, I don't know if you should
celebrate.
think you're gonna be able to evolve it
Right.
now.
But that's the thing. It's like we understand both sides. We understand that knowing how the mechanic works and how it's supposed to only be a special evolution regardless. Like, let's look at like something like Ursaluna or just day and night times in general. You know, you can only evolve certain things. I mean, let's look at Inkay. Inkay's special evolution is you had to turn your phone upside down. You know, it's like, I understand it's not the worst thing in the world when it comes down to those types of evolutions, but it makes sense because they are implemented from the main series games. They are implemented in a way that we know it's true to its lore that we know of Pokemon in general and the franchise in general. So, yes, I can see it from the perspective of the player who has been able to catch and, you know, get all the shinies and be ready for this type of event, for this kind of thing, myself included. It sucks that it's not going to happen, at least in that way. But that means it's just more incentive to play. There's more incentive to actually get these Pokemon in the end of the day. Will I get lucky? Who knows? It's the same thing as probably getting a lucky, female Salado or something. You know, it's like,
That's the way I'm thinking. Yeah.
How is it going to really pan out? We don't know yet. We probably will have more news until next week's podcast. How it's really going to be handled. By the time we actually go into the next podcast, I believe the event should be almost over. So, or over in this. So we'll definitely give our thoughts, feelings, and how it works and how the community has felt. Because we want to be the voice of them. So
yeah, long term, I think it's gonna be like something people appreciate just because of how rare it is. But yeah, short term, I know people are already like, oh man, I won't be able to evolve my shiny I already have. I won't be able to evolve my Shundo I already have.
yeah, I know, right?
You know, because it's like, are you gonna be able to get a second Shundo? I don't know about that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be very lucky in those kind of things, and especially because
Yeah.
the way that they're actually releasing it, knowing that probably Rockruff is gonna have a community day for his special ability and everything, which is I think Axel Rock. I think is his special move. When it comes down to it, and that's a prediction again, guys, so it could happen because Shinx was similar to that. When it comes down to it, there will be times where we're like, okay, this will be a rare occasion where either if you get the shiny, you can only get it in a raid, you can only get it in an egg, and you can only get it in a field research for the remainder of this event. Of course, any Pokemon or anything after the event ends, you know, there's still a possibility because Rockruff is going to be spawning from Adventure Scene egg rewards and things like that in the end of the day. So take it on a positive note. I understand. I think it's more of a 50-50. But again, we don't have full details of how this event really pans out until we actually play it. So we'll give you more thoughts next week. We'll see how it goes for the community and how other people are handling it. Maybe they will change it here and there. Maybe this is the only event where you get it. We don't know. Niantic is very well and masterful of deceiving half the time. So, or Niantic Cat messes up somewhere around the way. Anyways, so that is the Lustrous Odyssey. I think that's what it's called. We'll just call it an Odyssey. But yeah, we got more news to.
Your favorite?
I don't know about that. Community Day Classic. It's been announced January 24 for Community Day Classic. Porygon will be the feature Pokemon for the Classic this month for the looks of it, or season. I don't know if it's actually another Classic then in there. We're excited to announce Porygon, the virtual Pokemon, will be featured in January's Community Day Classic. It will appear all in the wild. You can get it lucky shiny. When is this happening? Saturday, January 20th from 2 to 5 p.m. Feature attack. Porygon C will be able to learn the charge attack, Tri Attack. And I think Porygon 2 also gets this Tri Mark, so I'm not sure exactly when that works. Community Day Classic Special Research Story, $1 equivalent to current legacy. There's no story when it comes down to it in the end of the day. Bonuses for the events, 3 times catching experience for catching Pokemons. Lore modules instance take up to 3 hours, and snapshots for a surprise. Time research will reward you with 3 upgrades and 3 Sinnoh from 2 to 7 p.m. local time. Field research were encounters with many different things in Porygon. We also have Pokestop showcases and Wet Sword bundles. The reason why I really want to actually just go over real quick about this is because I don't care about this Pokemon.
Yeah,
Any
it's not
excitement,
relevant,
any
really.
excitement for this, Chris? Really, it's like
Zach and I were talking on the way to his house, and he asked, "What is it good for?" I said, "It's cool to look at." That's it. It's a good shiny. It's a good shiny. It's a Shundo chance. That's pretty much the most you'll get out of this event.
yeah. When it comes down to Porygon, let me see real quick. Shiny. So I got 15 of them from last community day. That was when was this actually? 2020? Oh my goodness, 4 years ago. Now that I think about it, a little less than 4 years, but still. I have my Nando, Buckley, Porygon Z, because you know why? Why not? And then just a bunch of shinies. I just don't want anymore. Actually, I don't care about them. I don't know. This may be the very first time that I feel like I don't need to play this event almost at all. Will I have the Gold Plus? And if I go out and do something, probably, because I usually have the Gold Plus on the entire time I'm out, anyways. But I'm really not going to spend my time trying to catch any more Porygons. I think that this is the one that I really feel like I don't really need anything more from it. Any thoughts on that, Chris? Any more information?
Um, you know, go out and have fun if you want to catch it, but it's definitely not gonna. It's not one that you need to get. Let me put it that way.
No, it is not. So, for the casual player, I'll let it be. You guys can play it. If you get anything cool, let me know. So follow us on social media. All right. So, I'll let you talk about this one, Chris.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely excited for this. Hisuian Typhlosion is going to be debuting in a raid day event. And it's going to be the next Pokemon on the way to Pokemon Go Tour Sinnoh.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Hisuian Typhlosion is from Hisui. Just like Hisuian Samurott, it's going to be in raid battles too. It's going to be on Sunday, January 14th, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. I'm going to be up north for this, so hopefully it's not too cold. Hisuian Typhlosion is the Ghost Flame Pokemon, and it's going to be in 3-star raids, and it's going to have a shiny chance, of course. The event bonuses receive up to 5 additional free raid passes for a total of 6 for the day from spinning Gym Photo Disc. The remote raid limit will be increased to 20 on Saturday, January 13th, 2024, from 4 p.m. to Sunday, January 14th, 2024, at 7 p.m. PST. So that's funny. I heard some people say they only increased it for the day, but it goes 2 days. That's interesting.
Well, it's mostly because of time zones. For us, at least when it comes down to raid day for, let's say, Australia, they are happening at the time where we're about to go to sleep, or some in the afternoon. So their raid hour or raid day is gonna start at 2 p.m. At their local time. It will be somewhere around the same amount of time for us, around 4 or 5 in that specific area. So, or at least 4 o'clock Pacific time, and maybe I want to say like 8 or so o'clock for us here in the Eastern time or something like that. So,
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
There's going to be an increased chance to encounter shiny Hisuian Typhlosion. We don't know how high, but think Samurott, think weirder. Probably somewhere in like the 1 in 20 range.
I mean, I only got like 3 or 4 from the event anyway, so
Yeah, the back-to-backs. We got Hisuian Typhlosion is going to be more frequently in raids. Probably pretty much 90% of the raids. It's going to be out there, guys. I thought it was in every raid. So
it is every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that it's appearing; it's every single raid. So I don't know why they word it that way.
Yeah, that's weird. Event ticket for the cost of $5 or the equivalent pricing tier locally. You can purchase a ticket that grants the following bonuses. These bonuses will be effective on Sunday, the 14th from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. local time. 8 additional raid passes from Spinning Gym photo discs for a daily total of 14. Uh, Increased chance to get rare extra large candy from raid battles, and that's the kind you can use on anything, not just Typhlosion. 50% more XP from raid battles, and then 2 times Stardust from raid battles. I definitely recommend doing this if you're going to be using the passes anyways.
Yeah,
Why not get the free ones for less money?
why not?
Uh, Plus all the other bonuses.
Mhm.
You can gift it, especially if you're going to be raiding with your friends anyways. Something nice to do.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, you just got to be great friends. Other than that, it's only going to be in the shop until that's only going to be in the shop until Sunday, January 14th at 5 p.m. local time. You should have bought it before the event, though, if you're going to be doing it. Keep that in mind.
yeah,
In
no,
my
that's understandable when it comes down to it.
But yeah, I'm hyped.
Yeah, a very hyped event because any of the actually, I'm actually really hyped about any Hisun form at this point.
Man, they saved Decidueye for last.
That's an interesting one, but we'll definitely have a little more enticing form when it comes to that. Remember, we do have
Yeah.
raid hour or not raid hour, but community day for Rowlet coming up this weekend. So to have that and then this like back to back, it would have been just one of those things in the end of the day. So
I
uh,
think it would have been perfect, honestly.
yeah,
But
lore wise when it comes
maybe
to
there's a reason they're like keeping them separated, honestly.
maybe, but
Um,
regardless of how it may be,
yeah, Decidueye will be the easiest one to take down, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. So it is what it is. Um, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, Typhlosion is still one of those really good Pokemons. Regardless, I think the fire ghost typing that we had that it has can have some liability if we know how to use it correctly. But we'll see when it comes down to it in PvP sections and all that. So, all right. So if I can get to the other things, I think that's pretty much it. Now there's two things that I want to go over real quick, but I think we're gonna skip their news unless you want to really touch bases on that. Really, the only notable thing in Pokemon Sleep, because we still love that game right now, is that I unlock every single recipe in Pokemon Sleep, and that being salads, desserts, and curries. Until they release new content for that, I am sticking with it for now. I will be focusing more on berry specialists now, but I do have like 17 Pokemon at level 30, so I have a little bit good for everything really if I need to. Anything on your side? Anything cool?
Um, just looking for Pokemon I can use that are shiny on my squad. Finally got a decent Gengar that was shiny. But other than that, I still need to work on a lot of ingredients so I can get up to that dish possibility that you have.
Yeah.
The plan is to get all the ingredients and then have 2 ingredient finders that can like trigger to find the ingredients for everything. And then I won't have to have as much variety on the team, and then I'll just cook up based off of that. But yeah, I think variety is key, especially since your Snorlax changes what he wants every week. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, per se.
That's
But
for
yeah,
sure.
that's all I got to say about that. The events have been great in Pokemon Sleep, honestly. This one, it doesn't seem like there's higher shiny odds. Plus, it doesn't seem like you're super, super. It doesn't seem like you have super, super good odds at getting the event Pokemon. The starters.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be higher if I was in a different area, but I know we're both in the grasslands. I feel like I've only been getting like one event Pokemon every day.
Yeah, I haven't really got it too much, and I'm trying not to spend too much resources unless it's something that I really need to. I maybe get one, maybe Squirtle, Charmander, or Bulbasaur if I do get it. because the bonus biscuit actually gives you like 4 of them if you actually, buy the ticket and all that, whatever, or the pass or whatever. But anyways, that resource when it comes down to it, the New Year's event so far has been okay. I'm hoping for more soon, but again, it's just one of those things in the end of the day when it comes down to it. So we'll see how it goes. We'll give you more updated when it comes down to it in the end of the day. Now, I think we're going to skip this PvP section today because I do feel like there's not much to cover there. I don't know. Do you have anything to cover on the PvP section? Anything?
We're getting close to the new season. For the squad Switch Masters.
Okay.
Because they're coming up on season 2. I forget how long we have. I think it was like 2 weeks.
Well, once you have more updates, maybe let us know, and then we'll see.
Yeah, I'll let you know when it gets closer.
Quickly about GBL. GBL is in the Great Lake Holiday Cup Little Edition. I think that's changing pretty soon, I believe. January 5th, actually, is when it changes to Ultra League and Great League Remix. So, again, we'll cover it when it comes down to it. I do want to point out, now that we finished up that part, what is happening on Twitter, X, and things like that. A little bit of contribution to the community and how things are. So, when the Lycan Rock thing happened and then some other miscellaneous news from Niantic actually being posted, I went ahead and posted a few things on Twitter, stating a few things that I wanted to actually talk about. So, and it's going to be a real quick thing when it comes down to it. Number one, I go ahead and kind of mimic what the community is feeling right now, because Niantic releases new ways to play, evolve, testing new rays for stuff and things like that. And then, you scroll down to their Twitter and all I see is all you have to do is just revert the remote ray passes and all that stuff. I'm like, guys, it's 2024. Let's look into the future, please. Not the game's past. It is time to move on. I believe, regardless of how it may be, I think it's time to move on. I moved on from the whole fiasco when it comes to remote rating. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to completely erase it from my socials because unfortunately that's how it works. And then I have some interesting conversation with other people online, which some of them agree, some of them don't. I believe that depends on a lot of different factors. This tweet actually had it's getting closer to almost 1,400 views. So I'm kind of glad that people are, looking around, things like that in the end of the day. At the same time, because of everything that I've been actually seeing about this whole fiasco with the remote race and everything, I think I put myself in a position that it's time to move on from a couple of creators out there. Now, I'm not going to name them because I think you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. But at the same time, I don't want to actually bash on anybody. No fault to the creator, of course. I understand that those people are still wonderful people. I think they, when it comes down to it, they have done so much to the community. And then I think they still have a pretty big voice regardless of how it may be. However, when it comes down to my own revolvement of the gameplay and the ways that they have handled how things been in the future of Pokemon Go, I think that it's time for me to actually move on from those creators as well. It is a little bit sad because I've been following them for a while, but at the same time, I think that because of the way they are showing their engagement with the game and their way of thinking that everything gets resolved because of one simple change that is maybe not never happened in the end, I believe that if I want to be better, I think it's time for me to unfollow them. Again, no fault to the creator, no offense to anybody out there. But I think that in my experience, I will feel more happy to revolve around people who see similar visions or at least understands that there is more to it than the simplicity of, either the remote rates or anything that's similar to pre-COVID or COVID bonuses in that regard. At least that's my dedication. And of course, it's a new year. You never know. I may still see them here and there because, again, I've been following them for such a long time. But their outcry seems just a little too much for me. And I just don't want to see that in my timeline or in my own gameplay in that regard. So I will move on. I will continue doing what I can for this game in my own simple way. I believe that anybody who thinks that they are restricted to those, and again, I admire them. I do think that they did so much and they're still doing so much, but they have changed the perspective in a way that I don't want to see anymore. So that's that. I don't know if you have any opinions on that, Chris.
Yeah, not really. I think everyone's gonna always have their own opinion on things.
And again, I'm not asking for them to change everything the way that I want them to, because we're two different people. But I want to be more of the ways that I see how this game can play out, and involve with people that I want to see. They want to see the same thing in the end of the day. Sometimes we won't see eye to eye, but it is how it is, you know. At least in my perspective, I feel a little more happy not to seeing them change this much in the end of the day. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's really about it. I wanted to rant a little bit on that because I want to actually change in 2024, and maybe, you know, open up more opportunities for me now that I don't follow them that heavily in the end of the day. So, all right. That being said, I believe that's it, right, Chris? That's everything we got today.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah. I don't know. It's only the beginning of the year. It's only the beginning of the month. It's a brand new year, a brand new season, a new experiencing new opportunities out there. New doors open up for you guys. New windows are up and running. You know, doors have to close, of course. You know, we just closed out the 2023 and another amazing year for Pokemon Go. But yeah, I think that's the case. How about Chris? With that being said, of course, there is a thank you for everybody who always listens to the podcast. We appreciate it. I think last year we had the most engagements on our podcast, so we appreciate it very much. I think we went in the last 2 months alone. We had so many people download the podcast that I am so grateful for. So thank you so much once again, guys, for always listening to the podcast. That being said, of course, thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you can follow us in any of the podcast services feeds, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more of those places. If you can leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate it. Follow ourselves on our social media. Myself at Pure Letter Go, Chris at PKMN Trigger Please with a Z at the end. And of course, the Purified Podcast for anything Pokemon Go related news. We also have the Purified Podcast at gmail.com if you want to send us any emails concerning your gameplay or things like that. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything that you want to actually learn from us, let us know. We would greatly appreciate it. Join our Discord. It is free. You can find the Discord link in the show notes below. Or if you do exclamation Discord in Twitch, if you are here on Twitch, thank you so much. And of course, don't forget to check us out at the purifiedpodcast.com, the Professor Network. With that being said, Chris, take us away for the night, please.
All right. Hope you guys are having a great holiday. It's been a lot of fun in the game, you know, for both events. I think there's a lot to look forward to. And, you know, other than that, you know, just get out there, have fun. As long as you enjoy Pokemon, I think there's always going to be something good to do in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
But yeah, catch you guys next week where hopefully we got even more news for you. Yeah, let's hope the release of Rockruff and Duskform Lycanroc goes well. I'm definitely excited to try and get it.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you next time. Keep purifying them. Have a wonderful night.